Hello. I just got back from the doctor office with my kid. From her having the headaches and the migraines, and of course, a lot of it, I think, yeah, it's definitely stress induced. Definitely ascension stuff that I know. I know many of us have been going through ascension symptoms like a sucker. Yep. My last post had to do with Mercury retrograde, feeling like that. Yes, it did. Trying to get my headband on here right. Feels like a Mercury retrograde. And there is no Mercury retrograde. Actually, the only planet I think in retrograde right now is Uranus in Taurus. So it doesn't surprise me that with Uranus and Taurus, I got on the kick that I did today. Thank you for the thumbs up. However, it shows nobody's on here. So please say hello. So the Uranus and Taurus stuff doesn't surprise me that I kind of got on the backtracking of the last 10 years. Hey, Queen of Swords 444, how you doing? So my last feed, I already got one thumbs down on it because I know what people didn't like the fact that I said about possibly with the politics and stuff. And I don't usually bring up politics on this channel. However, it is in my description. If you look at my channel description, sometimes I could get on politics because I know what I'm talking about when it comes to politics. I understand the way it works. I've studied civil government and I've studied all of it. I have a social degree. I have a criminal justice degree. I understand how law works. So, plus I have all kinds of life experience. Not necessarily, thank God, not necessarily that I ever get in trouble. That I had to go into the system like prison for Pete's sakes, thank goodness. God bless anybody who had to deal with that system and come out and try and restart their life after that, because it's nearly impossible. Be tainted with that and then come out and try and restart your life. And prison hardens people. So we'll get off of that subject right now. I do believe prison does give people the ability to think a while about why they're there. Hi, Nova Nova. How are you? What's kind of shitty is once you get in the system, it's really hard to get out. And then the stigma that goes along with it, and you know, some people go to prison and they are innocent. No, it's okay. You could do all caps locked. I don't care. I do all caps locked a lot when I want somebody to be able to see my message. And it's not like I think that somebody... See, that's what people don't understand with the caps lock. They think, oh, well, somebody's yelling at you. No. No, usually it's when I do caps lock just because I want whoever I am talking to be able to see what I'm saying. But as soon as I got back from the doctor, ears started ringing again. I'm supposed to go to this. I went to the bank. They were already closed. Looks like nobody's getting shit for Christmas. We're gonna have to wait till after Christmas. They're, like I said, I'm not buying anybody anything. They're all getting money. And really, I don't even have that, but gotta do something. This is why I hate this time of year. Because I do stuff all year round and give people good advice and counseling and free readings and all this other stuff that I do on YouTube, and don't really feel that I get proper... I haven't got the proper respect that I deserve, to be honest with you. But it is what it is. I'm not here trying to abuse my power or sway anybody one way or the other about my beliefs. You guys can all believe what you want. That's how I feel about all of it. My beliefs can be completely different than your beliefs, and we can all get along. We can choose to get along and just say, hey, we have different beliefs, and that's cool. And be okay with that. That's really where we need to be as a society, is to be like, okay, well, that's cool, you believe that way, and not try and convert somebody to believe the way you do. Whatever works for them, works for them. Whatever works for you, works for you. Allow it. We don't have to hate somebody just because they don't believe the same way you do. That's what I see a lot of. That's what religion does. Divides into little groups. Seeing a lot in the Christian church. Oh, well, the Lutherans and the Catholics didn't get along, so they went on their own thing. And then the Catholics and the Methodists didn't get along. Or the Lutherans and the Methodists, so then they start their own branch. And then, yeah, the Pentecostals and the Charismatics don't get along because one's a little bit more worldlier or allows a little bit more of their bylaws, which isn't even biblical. It's man-made rule. It's a farce. It's all about power and control. That's why the last thing that I talked about, I kind of got on a rant. I would have stayed on that feed longer, but I had to run my kid to the neurologist to find out why she's having headaches, which I already know kind of why she's having headaches. She's an Aquarius with a Gemini moon and a Gemini rising. Always in her head. Always stressing out. Always thinking. She's always having swords coming at her. So I understand why. It's ascension symptoms as well. Period. Hi, Blue. How are you? Yep. Hey, buddy. Hi. Hello. How you doing, old man? My old man. Yeah. You can come up. Want to come up and say hi? Come on. Come on. Come on. Come here. Look at him. Come here. He's my Persian cat. Say hello. Come here. Smush face. Come on. Come on up. Then why are you sitting there meowing? Come on up. Come on. Hello. Yeah. And then the other ones all come in. They hear him. And then he runs out because he doesn't like. He's antisocial. I'm not kidding. The other ones are very social. Yeah, see? Hi, Jack. How you doing? And then Kitten Little's there. Blue. Hi, antisocial kitty. Hey, cutie patootie. Whew. I'm not feeling this Christmas Eve thing. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not. I'm not feeling it at all. Kind of want to. It's weird. Like, it's very different. Like, it just is. Just different. So if you're going through ascension symptoms, get your rest, drink your water. I'm supposed to be with my parents in like 40 minutes. I don't want to go. Nope. It doesn't. I think crying does something. He talks about it. This Christmas will be different than any other. Man, it feels different. I used to love this time of year. I used to enjoy it, but like over the last few years, and yeah, Used to be my favorite time of year, sort of. I always like Thanksgiving better. I loved going out Black Friday shopping. I did all that. Um, Not necessarily to be nasty and mean and run people over, but like yeah, like that was kind of I enjoyed it. But nothing's the same. The energy's not the same. Hi Heidi. And yeah. So, yep. Well, I kind of did sorta. We had our religious ritual routine when I was married. I'm not feeling this at all. And I really feel like most of the collective is just like, even my daughter's like, I told her, I said, well, I tried to make it to the bank. They were closed, so you guys are going to have to wait to get your money. Till Friday until I get to the bank. Till they reopen, so sorry. Know what to tell you. And she's like, well, it's not about my kid. It's not about the presents. It's about being together. I didn't listen to the whole. Cryan did a few messages about this Christmas will be different than any other. And I feel like there's supposed to be a lesson that's supposed to be learned from whatever we're going through right now. So if you're hearing things or feeling things and need to journal, it might be a good idea. I think it's about to learn what the real very well could have to do with Christ consciousness. And who the real kings and queens are. Who's real royalty? It's not about, oh, have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the year. When it's freezing fucking cold. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, this is the time when seasonal depression starts. However, I've gone through how many Dark Night of the Soul depressions. So I can't really blame it on just the season anymore. Blame a lot of it on not really blame, but I blame a lot of it on just consciousness shifting. And I got on here because my right ear started really ringing, like high pitched. So I felt like there's people on here thinking about the same thing that I am. Just kind of like collecting notes back and forth here. If you guys are all feeling the offness as well, and apparently you are. So, and for me, it was never, it was always, for me, it was always more about giving than receiving. Okay. And that's biblical. It was more blessed to give than receive. Facts. Because then the universe, when you give, it's a currency. But when you feel obligated and you feel stressed about it, what kind of currency are you putting out when you're giving those gifts that you really didn't want to have to go buy? What kind of currency is that? Maybe that's what this is about. Just something I'm kicking around. I don't know if I'm right here, but what kind of currency are you putting out, like, there? When you really don't want to. And that is a good idea. However, I really didn't know what to do for my dad. I don't know. So I'm going to go the day after Christmas when I cash my checks. By the way, YouTube apparently, or not YouTube, AdSense put more money in on my other card. I have no clue how much is in that account. Probably $5 or something. Dude, do with what you have with your resources. So I'm going to pick out a bracelet and give it to my mother. I'll let you guys help me pick it out. Which one should I give to my mom? I don't really know. I do know that her blood pressure, she's on blood pressure medication now. So, trying to think of which one would serve her well. Even though my aunt would probably say, oh, that's witchcraft. Sorry. I had to put that out there. Her having high blood pressure, I'm not really sure. She actually is sapphire, but my aunt actually picked that out. So she actually picked that out as her gift and got one for my other cousin. So maybe I'll give her rose quartz. Give her that one. I don't know. Trying to look at her thyroid and health conditions of what would be best for her. But she really liked these when I made them. So I got her a few other little things too, but I got my dad nothing. Like, I don't know what to get the man. The man has anything he wants, you know? So it's like, it's easy for women to buy for women. It's hard for women to buy for men. Like, what do you buy them? You guys, I'm sure y'all can relate. Maybe I'll give Mama that one. That's the one I think I'm going to give to my mom. The rose quartz is pretty. I can give her tiger's eye too. She should have something protective because she has to be around that crazy aunt of mine. By the way, somebody thumbs down my other video. And I think it had to do with because I was talking about politics. Well, that just came up because I was talking about how things are just not fair for people. They're not. That live here. It's not fair. And it's the government. It's terrible. I think it's bullshit and I think it's wrong. So, of course, you know me. Well, what do we expect from people who hate Trump? Democrats that don't get it. They don't get it. They don't understand. And I call it out. I'm letting you, like I said, I already told you what I know. I won't waver from it and watch and see if I'm wrong. If he doesn't, I'm very troll-like. If he doesn't win, know that it was rigged. Big time. That's the only reason they tried to impeach. I am a libertarian. That's the only reason they tried to impeach him. Because he's a threat. That's why. He's a big, huge old threat to the establishment. They're all sleeping with one another. The Democrats and Republicans are in the same bed. It's a fact. Because they're all getting kickbacks from the lobbyists. They're all bought and paid for by lobbyists. And then the red tape you have to go through to get a bill. When you have, they should have been getting shit done when the House and the Senate were both ran by the Republicans, but They were all establishment. So the deep state has control over them. And we all, if you don't know who, like I said, if you don't know who the deep state is, look it up. Yeah, I think I'm going to give my mom the rose quartz one. Good call, Nova Nova. Like I said, if you don't know who the deep state is, please do your homework. Ran, bought, and paid for by George Soros. One of the most evil fucking people in the world. He owns countries. I hope we all realize this. He owns countries. He owns his own damn country. It's ridiculous. And what a lot of people don't understand was he was an SS, he was in a Nazi SS, he's only 14 years old when they brought him over here to the United States to learn about, mind control and social control and how Hitler ran things and socialism, which is the next step toward communism. When you look on the wheel, they say that socialism is closer to democracy. It's like a step over from, no, it's not. It's the other way. You have no free choice at that point. You basically gave your free choice over to the state. And ain't nobody got time to allow that to happen. I mean, look what they're doing. Stealing your tax dollars. No offense to Nova Nova one here. That's a very deep rabbit hole. No offense to Nova Nova one here. You know, our brother across the pond. They know. Why the United States left over there. And we were controlled by Great Britain. Well, you're from UK, Great Britain, right? If you do American history, the reason why the territories decide... Nope, I'm from... Oh, no, wait a minute. Okay. There's somebody that gets on here sometimes. They're from our brother across the pond. Great Britain. We all know why the Revolutionary War happened. Taxation without representation. That's exactly what's been happening. We've been taxed to all hell and not been represented as an American people. So guess what happened? Bang, bang, bang. Declaration of Independence. We went to war. And I feel it stirring again. It's going to happen. But they're trying to take your guns first before. So that you can't fight and you can't protect yourself. They know what happened. This country knows what happened when they can disarm you and can't protect yourself. They can control. It's a fact. They know. They're not dumb. Because they can disarm the American people. They can control. Yep. And right now, the way the planetary alignments are is exactly the way it was in 1776. The appointment went okay. Planetary alignments are real close to what they were in 1776, Revolutionary War. what the revolutionary agenda needs to be now is overthrowing. See, the reason why that we have the Second Amendment and the right to bear arms is against the tyrannical government. So that the people can defend themselves against the tyrannical government, which is why they're trying to disarm the American people, which is why they're putting all these earmarks on bills. And especially with the medical marijuana industry, there's earmarks. We have it here in Pennsylvania. If you go and get a medical card, you're on a registry. They have the right to come and take your firearms because you're considered mentally disabled at that point, which is why I won't go get medical marijuana card, because you got to be put on a registry then. I'm not giving up my firearms and my ability to defend myself to smoke weed. Sorry. Hi, shine and lighten. I won't do that. And I certainly won't expect law enforcement to protect me. I saw how well that worked out, or how well that works out. I saw what happened to baby Arabella. They didn't protect her. They didn't protect the mom either. And I saw a bunch of other women who were abused that they didn't protect either. I know. Well, my last one was pretty, yeah. I got a thumbs down on that one. Because I got a thumbs down on that one because it had to do with, I'm not a Republican. Let's get it out there. Okay, I'm not. I'm not a Democrat in the least bit. However, I can align with both parties, what they were meant for originally. I can align with that. Like, I believe in freedom of choice. I could care less about gay marriage. I don't give a shit about that's not my problem. I'm not to control other people. I'm all about liberty and freedom. I don't want to be taxed to death either. That's called theft. So I'm a libertarian. And I was more on the conservative side of libertarianism. Like, I don't like war. I don't want to fund war. However, I do want the ability to protect myself, but I should be able to smoke a plant if I want to. That helps me instead of taking pharmaceutical drugs. However, if you smoke a plant, even though in 1776 it was illegal not to grow marijuana. Our founding fathers used marijuana as medicine. They knew the medicinal purposes for it. They understood it. And it wasn't until the 30s and 40s, reefer madness. Yeah. I wish I was. I can't find weed around here. The only thing they make around Pennsylvania is meth. I'm sure I could find heroin somewhere if I needed it. No, thank you. Can't find weed anymore. You want to know why? There goes the geese. Just hear a whole thing of geese going right over top my house. Well, they grew it for the hemp and they needed it. But they also smoked it. Trust that. They used it for rope. They used it for all kinds of things, hemp. Why they ever got away from it? I don't know. It's so easy to produce and mass produce. It was illegal not to grow it. But they used, you had male and female plants back then too. So, Well, you want to know what? They pretty much have controlled it because you can't even find weed in this area. Not that, at least, I guess maybe all my contacts are, uh, maybe it's just because I don't go out and look for contacts. Maybe it's because I'm in the spiritual community now. Nobody wants to talk to me. I really could care less. It is what it is. I have no problem with weed. Actually, I prefer it well over anything else. However, what I don't like is the fact that government control is now trying to take this over again. And the fact that in Pennsylvania, if you want to go get a medical marijuana card, which I could, for my chronic pain, for my pituitary tumor, and it would help all of that, and my anxiety and my insomnia, I definitely could get a medical card. However, there's an earmark on a bill that if you get a medical marijuana card, you get put on a registry, and then they can come and take your firearms because you're considered mentally disabled. Hmm. That isn't everywhere. That's just here in yeah, the colonial states, the 13 colonies. Yeah, I found out a lot about a lot of shit. You know, in Rhode Island, it's actually legal to be a prostitute. That was an earmark that they had passed through. Oh yeah, you could be a legal prostitute. Prostitution is completely legal across the board in Rhode Island. Uh-huh. Look it up. That was something they snuck in a bill that got passed. So, like I said, I'm kind of like shining a little bit on how much I actually do know about government stuff. Because I kept that off of here a lot. I really didn't want to get into it. Um, I'm not biased when it comes to Trump. However, I do think he's way more smarter than anybody we have running. I don't believe in socialism at all. I'm all about fairness and just. I'm about liberty, period. I'm a libertarian. I want liberty. I want, if I'm going to be taxed, I want representation. I want to know what I'm taxed for. And if I don't have that representation, I have every right to not pay taxes because I'm not being fully represented. And as a victim, I haven't been fully represented. Liberty and justice for all. So I shouldn't have to pay a fucking damn red cent because I haven't been represented properly. Not by the medical community, not by what happened to me at my job. Hell, I got blackballed off YouTube just because I like Jesus and because I turned somebody in for stealing my content and I get in trouble for it. And then YouTube blackballs me. How's that work? That's not right. Why? What the fuck? No, wait a minute. Someone can steal my content and then I get in trouble and get blacklisted on YouTube because someone stole my content and I turned in their channel for doing it. Doesn't make quite sense to me. But I get YouTube as a world stage and, well, we're under a new world order. So, yeah, I kind of understand the same rules don't apply as what applies in the United States. So, now, if I was all light and love and lies, my channel would be growing. Light and love and lies and loving I am about world peace. Do not get me wrong there. I don't want to see, I hate war. I do want world peace. Let people live how they want to live. But I'm more about the gatherers and, back in the day with the hunters and gatherers, and I'm kind of traditional in that way. However, I do believe women should have equal rights. My Mars is in Aquarius, but no, I'm not an Aqua dominant. I'm an Aries sun with Jupiter in Aries. Libra rising with Pluto on my rising, and a Capricorn moon opposing Saturn in Cancer. But I do have my natal Mars in Aquarius. So yeah, I'm higher Uranian thinking. So I'm all about, yeah, burning those structures to the ground that don't work no more. I'll get ready. It's a good placement, actually. Mars in Aquarius is a great placement. Mars in Aquarius is a great placement. My daughter, she's an Aquarius dominant, obviously. The Gemini rising and a Gemini moon, but then she has her natal Mars in Aries. So her and I are flip-flopped. My Mars is in her Aquarius and her Mars is in my ruling planet is, yeah. I'm not even being real passionate right now. Usually if I'm passionate, I'm like, ah! I'm glad you can feel it though. Well, I want represented, and a lot of it has to do, what really hit me this year. Nice. What really hit me this year was what happened with Arabella. And like I said, I've been talking about the NPD and dealing with these fucking people and the red flags and all that other stuff. And I've noticed that a lot of people in this community have been heavily abused. And there's people in this community that have capitalized on the fact that people have been heavily abused. And they're keeping them hanging on, hoping that someone's coming back. When I say move on and move forward, we don't want those people to come back. Especially if they have NPD. You want to go around the same cycle again? No. You need to cut that cycle off. Let the universe gut you and get it out of your toxins now. Let the universe gut it out, because, like I said, our body hasn't even been able to process. We've been doing ancestral purging up to this point. A lot of it has been karmic ancestral lines we've been clearing. It hasn't even been this lifetime of trauma, but yet it's the triggers that have been coming up from that we're noticing, but it's been from lifetimes that have gotten cleared, but not this lifetime, because we haven't even been able to process everything. We're not even done living this life yet. So the universe wants to free us from that. God wants you free from that to be able to be free. Liberty and justice for all is my motto. Yepper. Last night I felt like I was Oh, I was releasing last night. Daggone right I was. Through a lot of visualization. Yep. Purge it out, man. Picture the universe cutting you open in those black blobs of nastiness. Well, it has been hard to breathe. However, I noticed as I released my heart chakra, I didn't feel that heaviness on it no more. I've legit like pictured I legit pictured the legit shadow of other people that they threw in on the inside of you, their shadow that they didn't want to look at, that we've been holding on to. No, we haven't only been dealing with our shadow. We've been what's been coming up is their shadow too. I am on Facebook, but I don't do anything like this on Facebook. My Facebook is just there. You can find me on Facebook. I have my YouTube's linked to my Facebook, but if you go through my other videos, you can find me in the description, which I haven't put anything in the descriptions lately, but haven't had time. One of these days I'll go back through like I usually do, and then I'll just put everything in. But yeah, I did a visualization last night of this, at least as far as I could go, of the releasing of their avatar of, it almost reminds me of like the Venom. Did you guys ever see like Spider-Man Venom? Yeah, that's what I was that's kind of the image I got and pictured it as I allowed the universe to cut me open and return the sender. Return their black blobbed Venom avatar back to them. 3 so far. Now let's watch what happens. Well, I returned it going right out. Left. Goodbye. I did a bunch of crying before that. So, and I'm going to say this publicly, but masturbation helps. Orgasms help when it comes to releasing and purging. Especially to open up your root chakra. Especially many of us who have been celibate. If you're not getting a release and you're bound up, you need that release. I'm not saying do it every day or only when you need to manifest. Kaylee, I understand how you feel. It's because I'm telling you, you were dealing with the narcissist stuff. That's why. Just make sure you're drinking a lot of water. Eat what you can. I know it's not easy. When I went through this purge, I'm telling you, from the time I started my ascension process to, which was in really big time, 2015, 2016 is when it really started kicking in. And all of this You're welcome. Burn sage. I've noticed to get rid of that toxic those entities, sometimes you need to orgasm them out. And it sounds gross, but it works. And I'm not saying I'm saying through meditation and visualization, because you get blocked. And if your root chakra is blocked, the rest of you is going to be blocked, including your heart chakra. And since I did that, I'm open. There is a such thing as sexual frustration. And many of us stay with these idiots because we get sexually frustrated. So I said, get yourself a good, real good freaking vibrator. One that don't need batteries. My vibrator is awesome. Do you want to know what my ex-husband, my ex-boyfriend who abused me so bad called my vibrator? Because I didn't want to sleep with him anymore. And then we'd try and have sex, and I couldn't get off because I was just repulsed by him at that point. He calls my vibrator the devil. Actually, it was an angel in disguise. He did. He's like, that thing is the devil. And I'm like, my vibrator caused me not to need your ass. Because apparently you didn't need mine. And I didn't need to be going out looking for any more STIs, STDs. Which is sexually transmitted demons. But sometimes you gotta get it out. We don't need to be bound up. Yeah, we can live a life of celibacy, but celibacy is just not giving your energy over. Absolutely, there is a time and a place. See, here's the thing. A lot of people are like, well, masturbation, you're dropping your seed. Women don't have a seed to drop. Think about this. Men do. Think about when men masturbate. A lot of times men masturbate, they're masturbating to porn or to something like that. I masturbate to release. Toxins. And to open up my root. That's it. And it's not all the time. It's not like, oh yeah, I do this, like I have an addiction to no, it might be like maybe once or twice a month. And I can tell when my heart chakra starts to get tight, I know that I need to release stuff. And last night was the night that it was like so tight. I was so bound up crying. And I'm just like, it's time. And this is very personal. And it's not something like I really want to talk about worldwide on YouTube. But I think women need to know this. It's not shameful to do that. At least you're not out fucking every Tom, Dick, and Harry that's walking down the street. Fun fact, a woman can only... Are you serious? Well, this one will win out every single time. It's called the magic wand. Yes. That's the only one you need. Electric powered. There's no batteries, and we don't need no batteries. You just fucking plug this sucker in. And it's high speed. That's only speed 1. That's just speed 1. Wait till hear speed 2. That's 1. Wait, here's speed 2. Wait. Oh yeah. That's speed 2. Doesn't take long. My ex called it the devil. No, I was dealing with the devil. Yeah, well, I'm letting you know what I found works for me. Like I said, at least I ain't contracting any STDs, sexually transmitted demons. I'm releasing the motherfuckers. And it's why I've been completely content. You're welcome. It's why I've been completely content not having a boyfriend. Or that's why when this last one came in my life, I'm like, you better be something real special and I'll be fucking watching. Don't worry. You'll see. You'll see. Yeah, I saw. I did see. I saw. You're right. Here, have your sexually transmitted demon back from you and your incubus wife. Succubus wife. Gross. Disgusting. That's why I get along so well with the fellow convent and the fellow nuns. Because none of us are whores going out looking for karmic partners. Because that's what you're doing every time you go and find a new partner. You're creating karma with that person. You're creating a new karmic cycle. And these idiots don't realize it. That is it. That either how it ends will be your debt. Whether whoever did whatever, that's your karmic debt. And there will be karma to be paid. You know, unless the karma gets cleared and there's forgiveness on both sides and there's an ability to empathize and able to work it out somehow. Well, no, that's not bad. It's release time. Don't look at it as a bad thing, please, unless you're having real like physical symptoms that you need to go to the hospital. I'm going to tell you, I told you guys all last week, like I was having like weirdo suicidal idealization and shit. Like it was bad. Mentally? Well, if you're having suicidal idealization and you feel like you can't handle it, please go to the hospital. Pluto, we're having an eclipse tomorrow in some areas. And it's actually on the 26th. You're about to release and purge a whole 400 years worth of shit from your ancestry, and not to mention just that, but from your own traumatic body. If you're mentally blocked, put on some meditation music. And like I said, if you have to cry, that's all I did. That's all I did was cry. Don't feel like I get it. Big bad Aquariuses and Aries don't like to cry, especially Aquarius moons. They can detach like that. Aquariuses don't like to cry. If Aquarius cries, I know this from my daughter. It's because she's about to beat your fucking ass. And then Aries is the same way. If an Aries cries, you better fucking run. If you have any planets within the first 6 degrees of any of your houses, you are going to feel this eclipse, especially if it's in cardinal signs. I cried last night. I cried the day before that. I've been crying for 2 weeks. I've been crying for fucking 3 years. What am I talking about? Just not on here a whole lot. So don't feel like, you're not it's getting into your feminine emotions too. You have to release that toxic emotion. And crying is healing. When you cry, you heal. And Aries don't like to cry. Aries don't like, especially with, neither does Aquarius. If you piss off an Aquarius, you better fucking run. If you piss off an Aquarius to the point where they're going to cry, you better run. Cancers are just kind of used to crying. Yeah. Whatever emotions are coming up, write them out. Sometimes you got to speak it out. You want to know what I was saying the other day? And someone was saying about don't test the universe. And I'm like, you want to know what, Saturn, Pluto, universe? If you want to kill me, you can. Do it. They're like, oh, don't test the universe. No, I'll throw it out there because I know I have a mission. But if they want to kill me, they can. Because I feel like I'm dying. And I feel like sometimes I'd rather be dead than have to live like this and feel like this. And that isn't like me plotting to kill. No, I'm like saying, hey, you're going to kill me in my sleep? You go right ahead. Like the other week, I'm like, I don't even know if I'm going to make it through this transit. And if you look at my chart, it's one big ass square. I did a peace talk with the peace dealer. You use my actual real name, Lisa Luann. You can check out that peace talk. He goes through my whole chart. Nope. Nope. That's the surrender. If you want to kill me, kill me. But I'm not going to kill myself. That's just bad karma. But I'll let the universe do it. Whatever you want to kill, you kill. Whatever you want to expand, Jupiter, expand. Whatever you want to bless because I've gone through this, please do so. Because I can't go through another decade like this. It's been the worst 10 years of my life. One relationship fail after the other, after the other, after the other. Having people come and fuck me over. And then they get blessed and I get fucked while I get to sit there and watch them live a happy life. No. It don't work that way. After they steal my fire. Nope, don't work that way. Saturn saw everything. And they don't understand what a natal placement is and what my natal placements are. I'm going to be very blessed. I understand this if I can make it through this. Or if the universe wants to kill me, they can kill me. It's one of the two. I'm going to be holding on to that angel. Is what a 7-year transit. Saturn's going to be moving into Aquarius next year. And I didn't realize this, but when Pluto goes into a sign, I think I heard that Pluto's in a sign for like something like 30 years, but I'm thinking, no, wait a minute. That don't make no sense because Pluto has transit. When I was born in 75, 85, 95, 2005, I'm a Pluto in Libra. So it can't be 30-year transit that Pluto's in there. It has to be like way less than that. A Uranus transit, though, is 7 years. 7.5. Yeah, but how would it make it all the way up to Capricorn from Libra and I'm only 44? Because I'm a Libra, Pluto and Libra. So that would be 120 years till it made it to Capricorn. according to some people saying it's in a planet for 30, or it's in a house for 30 years. No, it's not. It can't be. That doesn't mathematically make sense. It has to be less than that. So I'm not sure when Pluto leaves. Pluto will be in Capricorn for a while. However, Saturn and Pluto together is a rough combination. Being together, those two. Saturn, my daughter's trying to call me. Apparently, they're waiting on me. I don't know why she's calling this phone. Hang on a second. Oh yeah, they're probably all up there asking, "Where's Mom?" Well, Mom's not ready to come up yet. I'll be up in a little bit. I don't even feel like going. That's how bad it is. But I'm gonna drag my sorry ass up there and... The appointment went okay, yeah.
Hello.
Yo, what's up?
Well, Olivia and Logan just showed up.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I'm on live on YouTube. I'll be up in a little bit.
Okay, don't be too long.
I won't.
Okay.
Give me like a half hour. I'll be there.
All right.
All right. Yep. Love you. Bye.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye, Daddy. Get to go up and be like, sorry, I couldn't make it to the bank on time. Nobody ain't getting shit. Oh, yes. Well, you know, it happens. Of course, my parents are always like, you don't have to get us nothing for Christmas. And they understand my financial situation, and they've helped me out a lot. So I feel like I owe them. I do. This year, they've really helped me out. Like, before this, they have not. Like, I've never really asked for any kind of help from anybody, ever. I've never needed it. I've always busted my ass. And that's what's the frustrating part, is I feel like I've been busting my ass doing what I do with very little reward. And I'm like, something's got to give. Well, from what I was told from this astrologer, you might want to watch it. It might make you feel better. There was an astrologer on YouTube that did specifically for Aries. And sometimes I'm a strong person. Not all the time. Sometimes it's just, I have no choice in the matter. Hang on a second. Where is it at? Okay. Live in the solution. That is the name of the, okay. Live in the solution. Check out her Aries astrological eclipse thing. Check her out. She did one for Aries. It was pretty, for the most part, it was pretty positive. I haven't been hearing a whole lot about love. I'm going to let y'all know this for Aries. So don't be pushing for it. We're working on rebuilding after Uranus just fucked our whole life up. For real. So just work on building yourself back up and not worry about giving yourself over to any succubuses or incubuses. Worry about your business. Worry about yourself, loving yourself first. And don't worry about love at this point. This is what I'm trying to say to people. And people don't want to hear this. People need that codependent partner. It'd be nice to have a partner to do this thing with. But they need that sense of security of having somebody. Aries aren't meant to need anybody but themselves. But you need to know who you are. Just don't watch porn when you do it. That's all I ask. Don't. Stay away from porn. I would be thinking of light and love, put on meditation music, and make love to source. Make love to God. Ask him to heal you. And release you from any STD, sexually transmitted demons. For them to go back to their rightful owner. Okay? This is a little tip I'm giving you. Because it's been demonized in the church for so long. When actually it's a powerful tool. Typical. All the powerful tools they don't want you to know about. And you know, you always kind of feel a little ashamed. Like there's a shame factor that goes along with it, like, and you shouldn't. It keeps your root chakra closed, which in turn closes your heart chakra, which doesn't allow you to manifest. Your root is directly connected to your heart chakra. But what you're going to be releasing out of is your solar plexus, which if your root and your sacral chakra, your sexual chakras, are all clogged with sexually transmitted demons, your solar plexus is where they're hiding out at. It might be why your some of your stuff is a little distorted. That's where you're getting gutted from, and that's where they're leaving. And it's going to open up your sacral and root chakra. So allow the gutting to take place. Yep. Yvonne got a cord removal from me. I think she's doing much better. Jess got a cord removal from... There's a lot of people who've gotten cord removals from me. I'm not perfect at it. But it's very spirit-led. And I take no credit for it. It's all God. I just do what I'm told to do. God does the rest. He just gave me the model. That's it. And of course, I have an anointing. So, like, I'm using the tools that were given to me. I'm using them. Even though I'm kind of undercover in the spiritual community because I read tarot. So, and that's exactly what that's the intention you should set. Is I'm just doing my best. I'm going to do what's best. Well, I'm deeply thankful that you allowed me to. And you can ask Yvonne. Yvonne's like, for what you do, you do not get paid near enough. I understand that. But people need free, and you want to know what? Jesus healed people for free. So I figure the blessings will come in. Spiritual and material, and they'll materialize in. God knows what I need. So I'm going to get off here. Apparently, I got to go do this Christmas thing. What happened when you bottled the ocean water? What do you mean? I bathe in that ocean water. I still have I have a whole shit ton of ocean water downstairs in my basement. I always keep some in my bathroom. I use it to clear my crystals after I do cord removals, and I clear my crystals as needed for full moons and stuff. So That's what I use the ocean water for. It's for clearing. Also, the other day, I poured it right down from my throat chakra all the way. Sometimes I even put it in my hair, my head, because my crown chakra. And I get it. Like, you're like, oh, you don't want to put salt on your hair. Well, sometimes I need a full cleanse, and it's like dumping a whole bottle of ocean water. Just let it come down. However, I'd rather just jump in the ocean if I could. Yes, I would. Wish I lived near an ocean. Well, you guys, well, look here in the Northern Hemisphere. It's already nighttime. I used to love this time of year. You know, you get older and it's just like, I don't know. This is just different this year. Not really, because I just rinse it out, put a little bit of spray conditioner on it, and there's not usually sand in it, so. But a lot of times I'll just dump a whole bottle in there, especially after dealing with these narcissists. I have no contact, so I haven't had no sexual contact with anybody in again about 6 weeks. So, yay! Here we go again. Back to celibate. And that decline? Call me on my other phone. Hang on a minute.